Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Our Take. We are your host. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we got a pretty fun episode for you guys. We talked about it last week, I believe. It was or it might have been 2 weeks ago. Our trailer reaction to a very highly anticipated / slightly controversial thing coming out. It's a Netflix original just released on June 29th. The Witcher Season 3, Part 1.
Yeah.
Is that what they're calling it? Part 1?
I think so.
They're splitting it up into 2 parts. The first part came out on June 29th. It is 5 episodes. The second part comes out July 31st?
Something like that.
Some end of July. I don't know how many episodes it is. I'm hoping it's another 5 episodes because that would be the largest Witcher season that we've gotten so far.
I don't think it is, but I feel like it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to end up being 3 episodes to round out at 8, like all the rest of the seasons are 8 episodes. But one can hope, that we get more instead of less, as always. But yeah, we're going to give you guys our take on this initial impression. So there are 5 episodes out that you guys can watch right now, but we're only going to cover the first episode. We're going to talk about it, and then we'll probably, I don't know how we're going to do it as far as the rest of the season, if we're just going to go at the end or maybe do a whole part 1, part 2. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to talk about the first episode because we just came out fresh in our minds. And I'm intrigued to see, like, I have some questions for you. You know what I mean? You as somebody that is way more knowledgeable about the lore and video games and everything than I am. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's start things off with Taylor letting us know who the cast list is for this film.
So, of course, we have the returning star that is Henry Cavill as Geralt.
Yes.
We also got Freya Allen returning as Ciri, and Anya Shalatra returning as Yennefer. We also got Eamon Farron as Cahir, Mayana Burning as Tisaya. She only makes like a brief appearance. Mm-hmm. Wilson, I don't even know how to say her last name. Bomio something. Zdara, he only makes a short appearance too. Joey Beatty as Jaskier. A little bit of him. Yeah, those are probably the bigger ones.
Who's the actress for the African American mage?
What is her name? We see in this season.
Well, okay, so that okay. We'll move on because that's one of the questions I have. So, as always, spoiler-free content first. This is just an initial impression, so we're not going to spend too much time here, ladies and gentlemen. Initial impressions for myself. I really enjoyed the first episode. It kind of like, it picks up right where I left off in the end of season 2. It jumps you straight into the action pretty much right away. Like, there's a scene of Geralt destroying guys right away, like almost immediately. So that was really nice for me. The only thing that I is gonna like detract from it is I don't know anything about the story. Like, if I'm looking at this episode just completely objectively without any prior knowledge or any knowledge of the lore or anything, I enjoyed the episode. Thought it was a good season opener. I'm intrigued to know what's going to happen going forward. Some cool stuff happens in it, and obviously I love Geralt, so Geralt's in it, and that's really all you need. But after we talk about this, I'm interested to see where my perspective goes, depending on what your insight is into how things work mechanically and whatnot. So that's my initial impressions. But Taylor, how did you feel about the season opening episode of The Witcher Season 3?
I thought for our first episode, it's actually really good so far.
That's good to hear.
Actually, okay. Yeah, I'm liking it quite a bit. I'm definitely curious to see how the rest of this goes. Obviously, we're gonna have a little bit of wait for the like finale, basically.
Right.
But yeah, it's looking good so far.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Scores. Taylor, as far as initial impressions go, what is your score for The Witcher season 3?
For a first impressions, shit, I think I'm sitting at like a 7.
Okay. Sweet. I'm sitting at an 8, ladies and gentlemen. Really enjoyed all the action in this.
Yeah.
And it does something that I'm really fond of. I know I've talked about it on the channel before, but something that I'm really fond of, studios or whoever it is that's responsible for marketing and whatnot, is this first episode shows a large majority of the shots that you see in the trailer. Right, so the trailer,
yeah, it doesn't spoil.
Right, so the trailer that came out 2.5 or 3 weeks ago showed a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of really cool stuff, and a lot of it, a large proportion of that trailer's footage was of things that happened during the first episode. And for me personally, that's a really good sign, because it means that going forward, I'm not waiting to see anything that I've already seen. Everything that I'm going to see going forward is going to be fresh, brand new to me. I'm not expecting anything. I don't have any I'm not sitting with in the back of my mind like, oh, I saw this in the trailer. When is this going to happen, or how does this play into the story? Right? Like, I'm seeing the story unfold for the first time. So I really like that, and I'm hopeful that that's going to benefit this series going forward. So that's why I'm sitting at an 8. Plus the action is just, it's pretty fucking awesome. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are our scores and our spoiler-free thoughts. If you have not seen this episode yet, it is available on Netflix to watch right now, as well as 4 other episodes for the first part of this season. I do recommend that you go check out the first episode before you listen to our spoilers, because there's a lot of really cool things that are just better to experience on your own first, and then come back and listen to our breakdown of the things that happened and Taylor's insight into what it all means, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, this is going to serve as your official
spoiler alert.
All right. First question. Did they recast that African American mage?
No, it's a different character.
That's a different character?
Yeah.
Oh. Because I obviously during like the
you're talking about
I can't remember her name, but she's the one that ends up going to Nilfgaard.
You're talking about Fringilla.
Yes, Fringilla.
Yeah. No, this is Francesca. This is a different character.
Different character. Okay, good to know.
She's a mage for another
for
kingdom.
Redania.
Yeah.
Right? Is the kingdom. Okay. All right. Second question. Have we ever heard of Redania before? Because I don't remember.
I think
within the show, like, do I know Redania from the show?
I think they are mentioned, but they are like
just a
name side
out there.
Kingdom that's out there. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I think they have visited there before, briefly, but I think it's just like a side kingdom they just didn't really touch in the beginning because they don't really need to. But
got it. Okay. Alrighty. Third question. Can Geralt and like Henry Cavill get any cooler than what the hell we saw in this episode?
Yes.
Like, dude, the action sequences in this were insane.
Yeah, this is one thing I did really want to talk about, just because, the whole controversy about this show and stuff.
Yeah.
And look, I know it's going to be sad when he's not a part of it, but you can't tell me that this fucking episode didn't fucking slap, dude, with how badass Geralt was.
Geralt was absolutely amazing. And I think it further goes to further accentuates.
Not even just him too. Like, I really enjoy how much they're supposed to, but showing the progression of Ciri with her skills and stuff. Yeah. Fucking love that.
Her hand-to-hand
skills. Honestly, I think she doesn't do as flashy in this first episode of moves that she's done before with magic. But in my opinion, her like skill to like either do multiple things or do very
Right.
precise things is much more fine-tuned in this episode
Her
than she has previously.
control over her power has matured so much
Right.
in
Because,
this
I mean,
episode.
I know she's just this fucking unstoppable force with how
Yeah.
powerful she is, but, and which we saw in the previous seasons.
Right.
But this one, it's a really nice change that as she's
Yeah.
teaching Siri, and, you know, they get into some little conflicts and stuff, that she seems a little bit more, like you
Right.
said, matured.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's every time she does do something, like you said, she doesn't do very much, but every time she does do something, it's like critical, and it's very whatever she does handles whatever it is she's trying to handle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
It's no longer so like, what's it called? Not uneven, unpredictable,
sure.
where it's like not enough or nothing, or
Right,
just
or
fucking
just
annihilation.
Roast the entire valley.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. It's really nice to see because Jennifer is this really, in my opinion, she's a really incredible character with her development, her storyline, everything that has happened, and what she's trying to do now. Like we've seen her go through this redemption roller coaster throughout the first 2 seasons, and now she's trying to redeem herself again in the eyes of Geralt, and it's just I don't know. I'm a sucker for those kinds of characters. I'm a sucker for somebody that you want to root for, and they just keep making bad decisions for
which this
quote unquote
is
the real right reasons, but just
this is another great thing about this show, especially so far in the season, is you're right, that's how her character is supposed to be.
yeah.
She's supposed to be one of like many love interests of Geralt. For me personally, in the show, I like her, which is kind of how they designed it, which I didn't like that they kind of ruined the other ones, but it's a show. It's a little different. In the video game, I actually like a different character as the love interest for Geralt, but I think they're doing a great job with her so far, and I'm excited to see where she goes. But she is kind of in this period of like you said, trying to redeem herself, not just for Geralt, but also for Ciri.
Right.
Because this is kind of like her way of being a mother at this point.
100%. Yeah, which is the whole...
This is what she wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole reason why she fell to the dark side for a while. You know, she just wanted to be a mom, and now she gets to do that through Siri. Sorry, not Siri. Okay, Siri. Her character development has been pretty impressive as well.
Yeah.
Just her obviously her use of chaos has ramped up pretty significantly, and I don't feel like I'm watching a whiny kid anymore. You know?
Yeah.
She has
Big
matured,
change.
and I don't know what the end game is here. You do to a certain extent. You know, you understand like where this potentially could go and what potential outcomes. I don't. So I don't really know what's going to happen, but I really like Ciri's character and her wishfulness of trying to unite the continent, you know, trying to be that uniting factor, that sense of heroine. I don't know, what is the female? It's heroine, right? Yeah. That sense through her, like I really like that, and that's probably what intrigues me the most about this season, is finding out like, okay, what is it that Ciri is actually capable of? Like, because of her mixed blood and her ability to use chaos and all these things that have been revealed throughout the first 2 seasons, what is she actually capable of? You know, like, is she more powerful than Yennefer?
Yeah. I mean, she has like pretty much all the potential to ever exist. So
She's
like
the one.
Like Yennefer is fucking insane.
Right.
But Ciri has the potential for that. So like theoretically, yes. she has a
right
lot.
now.
She still has a lot of time to go as a character. So I don't know what it's going to be like in the future.
Yeah.
Like, because the show is going to kind of change after the season and stuff.
Right.
But she's a great character. I do really enjoy her right now. I'm excited to see the rest of the season. She is very powerful. We only honestly like scratched the surface of it in this first episode, which is obviously it's fine because it's the first episode. But just the change from like 2 to 3, like, it's really nice to see it already.
It's a significant change. For her.
But so I mean, I agree that I think she's great, and like, there's a lot of exciting things that her character has in the future.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about one of the drawbacks for me. I was hoping to get more information on Ciri's father and Nilfgaard and that whole situation, right? So at the end of season 2, the big reveal at the very end, literally the last scene of the season, is we find out that the king of Nilfgaard, or the leader of Nilfgaard, that has been after Ciri and has been the perpetrator of all these things that have happened within the first 2 seasons, is Ciri's father, and he's trying to get back to her and find her and reunite with her. That was a huge deal because up until that point we thought he was dead, but my issue with this first episode is that we see him at the very end of the first episode, and we see him do this weird thing of burning portraits of him and Ciri's mother, and then keep Ciri's portrait, which it makes sense, but my problem is, like, I still don't understand anything about him or what he's trying to do or anything. Like, is he just a father trying to reunite with his daughter, or is he like just crazy, or like, well, what the hell is going on? And that was the last thing that I was left with out of season 2. So I was hoping that the first episode of season 3, I would get to know a little bit more about what's going on with that. And we essentially got nothing.
Yeah. So short answer to those questions: yes.
To both. Got it. All right, cool.
It's a little bit of both.
So is this canonically correct? Is this happen in the games where Ciri's father is the leader of Nilfgaard or leader of some nation or something?
No, at least not that I remember. I could be totally wrong. I do not remember her being the daughter of the king of Nilfgaard. Everything else that happens of Nilfgaard knowing about her and chasing after her and all of the other stuff, that I do remember. But I don't remember her having that connection. I think it's interesting for the show though, because I mean, we don't have it, like you said, we don't have a lot of development with him yet, but obviously that's a future thing. Sure. But I just think that opens up some interesting avenues for like problems later, I guess, because I mean, there's a lot more connections, I guess, that can be made because he's like her dad or whatever.
Right.
And it's weird because Geralt knew the fucking the mom and stuff, and her mom and all that kind of stuff. So it just adds to the whole like fucking mixed bag of shit that he has to deal with, which for his future is, it just makes sense to me. But
well, let me expand a little bit further on that and ask you, where are the canonical differences that cause such a rift between the producers and the screenwriters and Henry Cavill? Are you seeing anything yet in this first episode that is like a red flag of their deviating from the source material too much?
So this first episode, honestly, I don't notice too many like striking differences, but I'm also not like super familiar right now at the time because it's been a while.
For sure.
We've been covering a whole lot of other things that it's just a little bit of ways for me for remembering. So I don't actually notice a whole lot of different things in this, except for maybe the whole like new mage and stuff. I feel like that feels a little weird with the new
mage?
character
Oh,
that you're talking
Francesca
about.
or whatever.
Um, I can't remember if that was a thing or not, but it feels off to me.
Yeah,
But
because it.
as far as everything else, though, it seems like they were kind of because in season 2 they definitely stretched a little bit more than I wanted, which is why it was a little disappointing for certain people. But
Which what? What did they stretch?
I mean, my biggest thing was the entire conflicts with all the Witchers in Kaer Morhen. That was fucked, bro. Like that was just straight garbage.
Of them all dying and stuff.
I mean, like just their entire like portrayal of the characters and everything. Like they're fucking Witchers, bro. And the guy that ends up turning, like he was actually one of the other strongest Witchers in the fucking group. And it was just everything that happened, like it was just dumb. But as far as this first episode, it feels like they kind of reeled it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't trust you because of the fucking blood origin or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume that after this season, or maybe even towards the end of the season, you're going to start seeing a little bit more of a more differences. And then after this season, it's probably just, whatever.
Okay. Alrighty. If you guys have anything to add to that, let us know down in the comments below on things that you notice that are different. It does prompt another question for me though, because when I was watching the episode, I was under the impression that they recasted Fringilla, and so that I was watching a different person play Fringilla. So then in my head, I was just thinking to myself, okay, how does this play? Like, all right, Fringilla has obviously always wanted Ciri, right? But now Fringilla is not with Nilfgaard for some reason. She's with a different. But what interest does Redania have in Ciri? Is it for the same thing as like the elves and everybody else, that she's just this powerful being that if you happen to control her, you're gonna control the world, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think for them it's purely like a status thing, more so than Nilfgaard, where they know that she's of elder blood and want the power and stuff with her because their fucking mages and shit are just insane.
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And what connection does Jaskier have to them? Like, it seemed like he knew who she was when she showed up to Jaskier getting thrown out by his girl, and he like, because I don't remember Jaskier. I mean, I don't know. Do you know of anything that connects him to Redania?
That was another thing that was kind of, well, I love Jaskier, but because of like Blood Origin stuff, I'm kind of like accepted that he's gonna be this character that's just like a fucking throwaway like scapegoat for connecting things.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like that in this too.
That's what I felt like.
Because sure, like I think he has relations with pretty much every single kingdom because he's a fucking fuckboy.
Right.
And just goes around sleeping with all the different women everywhere. Yeah. And I feel like that's the only connection he really has with most people other than like Geralt and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of felt the same way where it's like, I don't understand why him.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think they only briefly even mention or show anybody from Redania. So it's like, what?
I just don't. It was kind of a detraction from the episode for me too, because I don't know. I don't like.
And it's like they set it up so it's gonna be like a future thing.
Yeah, where he ends up betraying Geralt, and then that's gonna be a whole thing, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Geralt be betrayed by Jaskier.
Look, Jaskier, for what he is, I don't think he has bad intentions. So I don't think he's trying to like.
But Geralt's not going to
screw over Geralt. Way. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know that. I think he's just over or being too trustworthy of a person for these people because he just wants. I mean, he cares about them a lot. Just they're his friends and stuff, and he only wants the best for them. But I think he's just kind of in over his head a little bit.
I think so too. Alrighty. Well, let's wrap this episode up with the awesome battle scene at oh man, I don't remember the name of the site
I
for
don't
the
even know. It's
elves.
like something with a V, I
Yeah,
think.
it's like Verrowood or something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
Oh, it's great to see the fucking dwarf guy back, dude. He's so
Oh
funny.
yes, I love the dwarves. I love the dwarves. I actually really I enjoyed that scene because it kind of meshed together a lot of things, a lot of storylines. Because now the whole elf thing is getting more interesting. With
Yeah, she's getting a little crazy.
yeah,
Well, actually, all of them are getting a little crazy, a little antsy.
I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet because I don't fully understand it quite yet. I guess. So I haven't really been able to form an opinion, but I mean, now her brother is dead because he tried to take Sirius, so Geralt stabbed him in the back.
Which was so dumb. I got her. No, you don't.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Come on.
Let's be real, bro. Geralt
All you did was grab her
single-handedly,
arm. Like, you didn't do anything.
Geralt single-handedly dismantled like
Yeah, he
all of
just
your
walked up
forces.
and just murked everybody.
Yeah, single-handedly. So,
Which is great.
oh, it was amazing. That action sequence of him taking on like the 7 guys in a circle and him doing the force field with his magic, bro. Like his movement is just so like
'Cause he knows, bro.
whoever it is that's choreographing these fight scenes deserves a pay raise, right? Let me tell you, like it's so just it's different than a lot of other sword scenes that we've seen in a lot of other cinema,
Yeah.
but and then like not only is it different, but then like Geralt, the fact that it's Geralt and Henry Cavill, I don't know how much influence Henry Cavill has on the choreography, but I feel like it's him, like that style of fighting is Geralt. And I don't know if that's true canonically or through the lore, but when I see it, I'm like, that's exactly how I would imagine Geralt just
Yeah. I mean, it's not
wrecking
just the
people.
Geralt thing. Like, that's just Witchers, bro.
Witcher
Like, Witcher, this is,
fighting.
which is why I don't like the portrayal of other Witchers previously
Mhm.
in the show because they always like shit on them.
Yeah.
And look, I know that
Like,
Geralt's
Geralt
the
is the
motherfucking
only
man.
one,
I
yeah.
got it. But he's not the only one. Like,
Yeah.
they're all supposed to be that high level of a fucking fighter because they're Witchers.
Right.
They are literally,
Bred for this.
yeah, bred, like fucking designed, engineered
Yeah.
for fucking murdering anything.
Right.
So, but at least, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
he
we've yet
does.
to-
He does pay the respect that it deserves in this. So.
We kind of have yet to see another Witcher capable, right?
Right.
Like
I don't
Vesemir is
mind that
kind of-
Witchers die. Of course they die.
Yeah.
Like they're jokingly, like they said in the previous one, which I liked, which is weird. They get the humor right, but they don't get the fucking portrayals. Where he's like, "Oh, when does a Witcher die? When it gets old and slow. That's it." Like,
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the fighting sequences were just they were
it was super
so
cool,
amazing.
man.
They're
I love
so
that they
amazing.
introduced slow motion in this too.
Yeah.
It's just it's
It's a nice touch.
not quite full on like Zack Snyder, which is
Right.
amazing, but it's just enough to add like a little bit of flavor to
to
it.
touch the flavor flav, dog. Yeah, it's just a touch of that esque, and I feel like the cinematography during the fight scenes is a little bit different too.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more movement,
Yep.
like side to side movement, and we get to see more angles
Right.
of the action sequences, and it just adds more layers
Right, it
to
just
the
makes it so much cooler.
badassery.
Which honestly, like it's kind of how I feel like when you play the game, it's kind of like that, right? Because it's like a third person perspective, so you get like you're rolling around like doing all these
Yeah.
different moves and stuff. So it almost feels like that when you're watching these action
Oh,
sequences.
that's some good insight in that. Because yeah, now that I think about it, it is almost like we were watching Geralt in third person fight all these
Right,
guys.
and it's super cool.
Yeah.
The only thing I do want to say, and I think it's good, it's just I want it to be, and I guess it makes sense like chronologically, but series physical abilities I think are good, but I want her to be faster when they're showing it.
Yeah.
So
Is she like known for just being like speed? Is her?
she's really fast.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just
Yeah, she's a small,
still powerful,
yeah.
smaller stature,
frame,
like
yeah.
just really fast. May not physically hit as hard, but still
Yeah,
powerful, fast.
Speed can kill, man. Speed can kill.
Okay. But it does look good. The only one I was iffy on, which I just think it was a minor mistake, not really mistake, but they just glossed over it. Yeah, overlook, is when they're fighting the fucking beefed up roly poly monster. She does this cool dodge maneuver.
Yeah.
This might be a physical technicality thing. She jumps up and just dangles to dodge. So when you're looking at it, she should have gotten hit.
Yeah.
What she should have done is two things, I would say, which both are very, very hard physically to do, is jump up and lift your body like
like plank in
like
the
a
air,
gymnastic kind of level thing, or again full fucking flip
around,
which both would look insane, but it would have been awesome. It still looked cool, and it's just a minor thing, but
I got you. Well, last thing that I want to say real quick is just a shout out to Henry Cavill, because we talked about it in the trailer reaction that, obviously he's leaving, but I think it's such an incredible thing for actors to be able to separate themselves from the controversy or whatever is going on outside of what's on screen and still be able to deliver a impressive performance,
right, and not let it detract
and
from,
not let the outside negative things affect his ability to portray the character so well. And he delivers, man.
Oh yeah.
He
even
doesn't miss a beat.
Even when it's just a voiceover.
Yeah.
His letter that he gives the Yennefer, I was so glad he did that. Because we see like the typical I fucking hate you, like grunting and all that kind of stuff. And I also really liked it from Yennefer's perspective as well, as trying to reconnect with him in a very slow way,
chipping away at the old man.
But I'm excited for them to reunite, dude.
They almost did, dog. They almost did at the end. Got real close. And I was like, dude, just
they purposely set up only Yennefer, because there's lots of reasons, but because of that, I can't wait for them to just get back together.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what your guys' thoughts were on the first episode of The Witcher. Are you guys excited as we are? What did you guys like? What did you guys not like? And also let us know down in the comments below, what was your favorite part of the first episode? Let us know. We appreciate you guys. Still one more episode coming out later this week, so stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you guys for all the love and support that you guys have been showing us. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media as well as the other shows here on Any Kind Media. And we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Oh, Valley.